Hi there, my name is Cynthia Wakio and I am joined by Pamina Swainaina, who is an entrepreneur in his own right and is going to be telling us, or rather giving us a guide on how to start a successful online business in Kenya. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you, Cynthia, for having me.
So take us through the kind of businesses that do well online.
So it's quite an interesting question, Cynthia, because in this day and age, almost all businesses, I would say, they've gone online. So whether it's a consultancy, whether it's you are selling spare parts, you do have to have an online presence. But having said that, there are businesses you find which predominantly online in nature. And these are some of the businesses that I believe if you're a young person and you're watching this, you should be able to consider. And some of these businesses, they involve services like freelancing. So if it's you, you can be able to, freelance as a communication professional, as a digital marketing professional, and people will be able to pay you. Yeah, so you don't have to meet someone one-on-one. The other services you find which have also gone online, almost 100% is training. A lot of now training is done online as opposed to in person. Yeah, and you can do it either in person or you can be able to package it. Yeah. Other services which are also doing very well online is real estate. So whereas you still have to go and someone has to view the property itself, you find the acquisition part, 80% of the business is actually done online. Because I only be interested to go, let's say, to view your house in Kileleshwa or wherever you are, having looked at the features and all those kind of things. So I think almost all industries, they've been disrupted by, what is happening in the digital space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So before you start an online business, what is a must to know before you start?
I think, like I always say, is to think about the market. Do you have an audience? And because if you don't have an audience, an online audience, then it doesn't make sense. For example, a good example is the entertainment industry. Now, when you look at it at face value, you say, "Oh, I do need an online presence." But let's say you're starting a bar, a small bar. Yes, you can have an online presence. You can have a WhatsApp page. You can have a WhatsApp group, you can have a Facebook group, but a lot of what happens is it's what you have on the ground, so to speak. So those ones that will just be channels for marketing, as opposed to, let's say, me who's offering training, who's a lawyer, who is a doctor, and I can consult people online. Yeah. So some of these businesses is ask yourself, the end user, the audience that I'm targeting, are they really online and what are they doing online? Yeah. And then also having figured out whether you actually have your audience target, whether they're online, the other thing to consider is how do you get to that audience? Sometimes I see people making mistakes, targeting the wrong kind of, using the wrong kind of platform. And I believe I was discussing this with you.
Yeah.
For example, if you look at Instagram, you can't do very well when you're talking about career matters or even business matters on Instagram.
Yeah.
But if you're doing fashion, if you're doing entertainment, you do very well. Same case, what appeals to the Twitter audience is not the same one as LinkedIn or even YouTube. Twitter is very good for politicians. It's very good for even celebrities.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if whatever service you're dealing with, people need to have an experience, people need to have a show, then YouTube is definitely number one, followed by Instagram. Yeah. So those are some of the things that you need to consider.
Yeah. So your platform has to be where your target audience is.
Yes, it does have. In fact, my advice is, as a first thought, is think about your audience. Where are they currently at? Don't think you can move them. No.
Yeah.
So if it's Instagram, think about who visits Instagram, who visits TikTok.
Yes.
Yeah. Then from there you'll be able to see, is my business aligned with the people who visit TikTok? Is it aligned to the Twitter audience and such like? So you don't do the other way around. You don't come up with a product and then you go to Twitter and yet it's not ideal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are the steps to follow when you're thinking about opening an online business?
The steps are similar to a physical business. Yeah, you must be registered, and because nowadays, in fact, even KRA, I'm sure you know this, they are charging a tax even if you're doing online business. So whether you're an influencer, whether you have a YouTube channel and you're earning some income, whether you're even using Zoom services nowadays, KRA, they are correcting tax on that. So I think for you to be compliant, is you do have to have your house in order. So is the company registered? Do you have PIN number? Do you have if it's shareholding, is it clear? Thank God nowadays you can have a one company director. Yeah. Do you have a PIN number? Do you have a bank account? So have your house in order. Then when you have your house in order, the rest is marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It becomes easier when you have your house in order. Yeah.
All right. So finally, as we wrap up, any advice?
I think the digital space is really open up in Kenya, and I believe the whole world. And Kenya is actually a case study in terms of people's adoption when it comes to matters digital. So I think we are in the. If you're thinking about opening an online business or getting your customers online, you are thinking in the right direction.
All right. Thank you so much for that insightful session.
Thank you, Cynthia.
So there you have it. And if you want more tips on how to start a business in Kenya, please subscribe to the channel. See you next time.